Hey guys, Ryan from My Fishing Cape Cod here with you, and this is a cool video. For the next 10 minutes, you're going to be watching striped bass that were in about 6 to 7 feet of water. And I'm going to be tossing little pieces of chum into the water. And you can actually see some chum right there, right to the left of that crab. And I have an array of cameras that are set up along the bottom. An array of GoPro cameras and Spydro cameras. And I just let them record. And I was actually perched on top of a boulder. And that's where I was cutting up the mackerel and tossing it from the boulder into this little patch of sandbar, which was located about, maybe 10 yards from the boulder. And way off in the distance there, you might have just seen that striper grab that chunk before it even hit the ground, which was really, really cool. So here's a view from a different camera. Same exact day, same spot, just a different camera that's positioned just slightly differently. And you can see that we have a nice school of stripers showing up. And when I first started chumming, there wasn't much going on. But it didn't take very long. I saw one fish come in, and then two. Oh, and that was cool. That fish actually just spit out a chunk. That was pretty neat. I've actually only watched this footage once from start to finish. Oh, that was cool. So there's got to be some surprises. I'm not really sure exactly what to expect. I cut this up kind of quickly, put some music to it, and now I'm just narrating as we go along here. Way off in the back right, you just saw a nice striper come down and grab some very small pieces. And I'm not an expert with regards to chumming, but I've always been of the mentality that you don't want to overfeed the fish. I want to just make the most of the bait that I had. I swam out to this rock, so I only brought about 7 or 8 mackerel with me. So you can see how small the pieces are. I cut them up real small, and I more or less just wanted to create a big slick and get as many little pieces spread out as far as I could, with the idea that the scent and the activity, I really feel like when a striper sees another striper get excited, it just draws them in. They are very, very curious creatures. I know from snorkeling with them. If I'm really still when I'm snorkeling with stripers, they'll come right up to me and just check me out and wonder what I'm doing. So when they see a couple fish getting excited, I really think it draws them in. I'm not sure what spooked that fish right there. I was doing some fishing while filming, and I did catch some fish. It was pretty automatic. If I put a nice bloody chunk in the water right now, it was pretty automatic. Pretty much as soon as it hit the ground, if not before. Also drew in another green crab there, and he's a little nervous now that the stripers have shown up because he's on the menu too. I've caught many stripers using green crabs before. Green crabs work well for all different types of species. Tautog, scup. Oh, that was really neat. That striper just slurped down the smallest little piece of mackerel. That was really cool. And you can see that fish in the background there, scouring the sand, just slurping up tiny little pieces. If you're interested in seeing more of the actual fishing, I published a brand new report/blog post over on my website. It's at myfishingcapecod.com/chumming-the-water. And you can read more about, the full story behind how I created this video, and also you can see the rock from which I was fishing, and you can see me catching a few fish. I think that chunk actually had a hook in it. So you can see before that chunk even hit the ground, that fish grabbed it. And I was using a inline circle trocar size number 7 circle hook. And when a fish took the chunk, I would just slowly start reeling. I don't want to let him run with it for much longer than 3 seconds. Anything longer than that, and I risk gut hooking the striper, even when using a circle. Ooh, that was a nice fish. That fish is probably over 30 inches there. And most of these fish, I'm estimating, and based off of the fish I did catch, I think they were between 23 and probably 28 inches. But no doubt, we just saw a fish that was over 30 inches. And in this particular spot in years past, I've seen fish that are well over 40 inches. We've got a mackerel head that just hit the bottom over in the background there. We'll see if anything picks that up. Oh, that was cool. Oh, did he spit it out? Oh, it has a hook in it. I wonder if that's part of the reason why he spit it out. Maybe he felt the hook, maybe he felt the line. You can clearly see the line right there. I'm using 30-pound monofilament. Not fluorocarbon on this trip, I was using mono. Very cool how that striper just picked up that little tidbit. A lot of these fish, well, that guy looks kind of skinny, but quite a few of them have some pretty good bellies on them, which is great to see. And it's just such a perfect day with the calm water and the sunlight shining through. It really makes you appreciate just how pretty these fish are. That's a small striper, but he has got a big belly. His fins are a little dark too. It's almost like his belly has a little darker coloration to it. Oh, that was cool. That bass just slurped down that chunk. Beautiful fish. My goodness. Yeah, that fish has got a belly. That one's a little bit skinnier. So this is a different camera, different view, same spot, just a different angle. Beautiful sunlight right here. And probably at this stage in the game, I would estimate that we're about 2.5 hours after high tide. So the tide has been going out throughout this entire video. And I actually have about 2 hours of footage, but I cut it down to 10 minutes here. But throughout the 2 hours, I'd have moments where there was nothing going on, but then I'd have phases where it was like this. You know, for several minutes, a school comes in and just really surveys the whole area, slurps down little pieces of bait, and then just goes on their way. And then, I don't know if it was the same school coming back again later, but after a few minutes of there, being no fish around, then, another school or the same school would come back around. Gosh, very pretty. Fishing for me definitely recently has become a lot about just observing the nature. And that, look at that. What an image that was. Striper just coughs up what looks like a piece of a gill plate of a mackerel. I've definitely noticed, oh, wow, that guy, I think he picked it up and spit it out. I don't know. He went off screen, so I don't know if he spit it out or swallowed it. But I feel like they definitely, like the bloodiest, meatiest chunk possible. Which, is good because, oh wow, here we go. Let's see what happens here. Yep, look at that. Before the chunk could even hit bottom. So I think that's my strategy moving forward. Chum with little bits and pieces, and then as soon as you put a big chunk in there, it's pretty much automatic. Now, if you'd like to watch more, I hope you subscribe here on YouTube, but my main gig is over on my website, myfishingcapecod.com. We have a great community of members over there. It'd be great to have you on board. And you can learn more about this specific video by going to myfishingcapecod.com/chumming-the-water. Tight lines and take care.